Welcome to another episode of the Woman Up podcast, a place where we entertain, educate, and elevate women on this life journey. And on this week's episode, I have Nana Crawford with me.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I met you like a few months ago, wasn't it?
Yes, at the Heels and Feels Festival. Yeah. And you were like, you need to come on my podcast. I was like, okay.
I did your twerk class.
You did? You did. At the back. You were at the back, but I still saw you.
No! Okay, before we get into that, let's intro you. Just tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Nana Crawford. I'm a mum. I like to say that first because that's my main priority.
Yeah.
I'm a mum, a wife, and a dance fitness instructor, and also a Samba dancer. I wear many, many hats.
Yeah.
Samba dancing is probably my passion, my love. It's the thing that gets me really excited. But I discovered a couple of years ago that maybe teaching could be an avenue for me. And I kind of dipped my toe in.
Okay.
But now I'm fully like submerged. I've got my diving license. I'm in there. And I'm loving it. I'm loving teaching.
Yeah. You teach Samba or
I teach Samba and I teach twerk.
Yeah. Okay.
Twerk is probably the main thing. I started teaching Samba properly this year. But twerk, I've been teaching twerk for about, I'd say, consistently, maybe about 2 years. Yeah.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you. Like, how long have you been dancing and, like, where did that come from, that, like, passion?
So it was basically, like, after I had my 2 kids, your body completely changes, right? And you kind of, like, pregnancy for me was not probably the experience that people like. It's the most amazing time. I just felt like a complete like alien experience because my body's getting stuff that it's completely out of your control, and I like to be in control.
Okay.
So the fact that like I was just getting bigger and I couldn't really control what was happening to me, but I was obviously excited by the end result. But anyway, after I had my kids, I kind of felt like I was not living inside my body. I felt like we were just kind of like roommates.
Oh, okay.
That kind of like saw each other. Just from time to time, like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. So I needed something to get my mind and my body together and my soul like realigned. And it was my husband actually that suggested to get into dancing because he's like, you always love dancing. He's like, you're always the first on the dance floor. Like it's something that you love doing, so maybe that could be your kind of thing that you do. And I tried the gym, like I get gym culture, it's cute, and I tried it, but it just wasn't for me. And I think my relationship with the gym became quite toxic. And I was going to the gym because I had this notion that if I go to the gym, I need to go there, lose weight, tone up, all this kind of stuff. So it wasn't a positive, I wasn't going there for positive reasons.
Yeah.
So the dancing was the main thing. And I looked up different classes, and there was a friend that suggested Samba as a challenge because I used to do salsa like back in school. And I was like, Samba, okay, yeah, go, fine, I'll go. Went to the class, completely lost the entire time.
Yeah.
But there was something about it that I was like, if I can look as good as the teacher, then maybe that's a success. And that's how it took off. And then lockdown happened straight after.
Wow.
So this was like Feb 2020, then March, lockdown happened. And I just went online. I did it all online and basically kicked everyone out the kitchen space and just grew my confidence at home. And the dancing for me just allowed me to kind of really reconnect with myself and also like understand my body and what it could do, what it couldn't do, what I could work on. And the more I did that, the more confident I became. And then it got to a stage where it's like, well, if I can do this for me, can I help other people do that for themselves? And that's how the teaching kind of came about. And again, it was my husband. My husband's kind of an underlying,
I'm liking
like,
this,
he was just kind of like, why don't you try teaching?
Yeah.
Like little seed. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he was like, you might like it. So I was like, okay, fine. And and then I just went into teaching and it's just kind of been a love story since between teaching and dancing and helping other women. And now I see like what it's so funny because what he saw in me growing and my confidence, I can see in other people when they come to class.
Yeah.
And I'm like, mate, you were onto something.
Like, I love that. What were you doing before this though?
So before this, I work as a social media marketing manager.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I worked in the charity sector before this. And I was doing that throughout the whole time. I think I only recently stopped my corporate kind of life in June this year.
Wow,
so up until then I was still working in the charity sector.
That's why your social media's popping there as well though.
I'd like to think so. Otherwise I would not have been employed.
I love that. I love that you said that like your gym relationship wasn't great, because I feel like I have like a love-hate relationship with the gym.
Yeah.
We're like in a situationship or something. Yeah, because I've just started going to the gym recently and I'm like really liking it now.
Good.
But I've been on this like roller coaster before where I'm like really pumped, but then after a while it's kind of like you're forcing yourself to go and it's like, oh, like I don't really enjoy it the way I would enjoy like a dance class.
Yeah.
But then I kind of think that I have this like, maybe it's a misconception that the type of body I'm going to gain from the gym I can't get with dancing. Do you think other people feel like that?
Yeah, I can see where that kind of connection comes from. And I guess for me, the question that I always ask to people is like, why are you going to the gym in the first place? Or why are you going to the dance class in the first place?
Yeah.
And if you can basically like even write down your why, then you have that center point, and that's what you can anchor yourself around. And people come to the dance classes for lots of different reasons. Some people come as a way, like they go to the gym regularly, but they come to the dance class to release stress and energy, you know. Or I have people come to class because they want to be part of a community. So for them, it's not even about the dancing or anything. They just want to be there for the vibes and chat to people. And they're the people that are the most disruptive in class because they're always yapping. And then I have people that come because they want to learn a new skill and challenge themselves. And it's a skill that's not necessarily that you would learn in a gym, you know, doing like workouts like that, but coordination and stuff like that. So I would probably say that for you in particular, when it comes to going to the gym, you have to think, what's your why? And once you know your why, then you'll feel a little bit more motivated to see what are the things that can help you answer your why.
Yeah. I think what I've started doing now is I'm not like obsessing over the gym. I'm just like, okay, I've got my gym schedule 3 times a week.
Nice.
And then in between that, I do other things. So it might be dancing, it might be yoga, Pilates, like whatever. The other days that I work out are different things.
Yeah.
I think that's like probably where I was going wrong, is that before I was just like gym. And then
that's what it was like.
Just really stressful.
Yeah. That's what it was like for me. I was like, at that time, my reason for going to the gym was because I had convinced myself that I needed to be the size that I was before I had my kids. So that was my motivation. And that's the completely wrong motivation to have, because it was kind of, why do I need to be the size that I was before I had my children? It makes no sense. And obviously that's just influence from media and you know, that whole kind of like mum bod, pre-mum bod, whatever it is. So that at the time was my motivation. And like I said, it just created this sense in my brain where it's like, I have to go to the gym, I have to be in there for an hour, I have to do this, I have to be on this. And I was just, became really toxic, and it was a really toxic way for me to think of it. But I know loads of people who go to the gym as their mental health, for their mental health and to have time to themselves. And I love that for them. But that for me comes from Samba, you know, so I think it's nice that I have a different outlet, but we can still connect on the fact that we do something for ourselves.
Yeah. Talk to us about like your Samba journey, because it was 2020 when you first started.
Yeah.
Did you have any experience in Samba at all?
No.
Oh my God, I've seen your videos. Like, you're so good.
Thank you.
Was it like every day that you were practicing?
So during lockdown, I was probably doing like at least three lessons a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't like huge.
Doable.
Yeah. So it was definitely doable. But the more I did it and loved it, I then started to kind of put my own time into practicing. So I'd do my lessons and then I'd be like, right, I'm going to spend today just trying to figure out what I did in my lessons. And then I would like include that as part of my routine. And then I would have like little moments where I do like 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, just trying to go over a step that, you know, like if you go to a dance class and there's a step that you're like, I didn't quite nail it, but maybe I can figure it out, then I'd do it like that. But Samba has been quite a journey for me, because although it's been so positive for me mentally, physically, like it just makes my soul shine. But there are parts of Samba that can be difficult to navigate, in the sense of and this was something that I learned from doing it, was the whole Samba body thing, which is something that I've recently started talking about on my channels, because when I was practicing and kind of as I was getting better, I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna apply for like Samba groups and stuff like that, and I'd get rejected because of my size. And that was something for me originally that I thought wouldn't be an issue. But then when you start to kind of delve into the commercial Samba world, and then you see the types of bodies that are on display, my body is not one of those bodies, especially within Europe. Very, very slim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very slim. Whereas if you go to Brazil,
I was going to say that is not
it's a whole
Samba.
different story. Yeah, complete different story. You get more like, I would say, like a wider range of body types. But I guess when you're in Europe, if you think about the types of people that are going to be learning Samba and the influence of Samba, the bikinis, the costumes, then that kind of comes with it. So I've had to kind of battle not just the physical difficult side of Samba, but also the kind of mental resilience that you need to say, no, I still belong in this space. My body is still beautiful. And like, you know, I'm just as good as anyone else, regardless of what I'm wearing, or regardless of if my belly is bigger than, you know, that person. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah, because I read, was it Newsweek you were featured in? And they said when you first started, you got quite a lot of like negative comments, right?
It was so weird, because, I mean, I don't know whether it was like me being naive to not expect it. Like when you go viral, you just open yourself up to a world of comments. But it was the comments that were like always fixated on my belly would always be the main thing.
Rather than your skill.
Rather than my skill. Like, no, like, it wouldn't be or it'd be like a compliment followed by a little dig, you know? And the ones that always, like, made me just got in my head a little bit would be the ones where it'd be like, you've improved so much, you're doing great, but if you lost weight, you would be better. And stuff like that. I think people often say, oh, you can just ignore that. But then when people say stuff like that, you start to question yourself, like, oh, maybe I would be better if I actually lost weight. Like, maybe that's actually the thing that's holding me back, because I want to get better, you know? So you start to question the decisions that you're making and whether you should be the size that you are and all that kind of stuff. And those were the comments that started coming at a particular point where I felt that I had like kind of almost leveled up in a way. And the comments that were coming were just like, oh, your belly's really distracting. You're all like, you've done all this Samba, why haven't you lost weight? And that was another thing that people often, and I was like, but that wasn't my why, you know. My why wasn't to lose weight. My why was to find joy. And that's what I found. So, but it's just really interesting how people push their perception of exercise or fitness on you and what their perceived notion of, oh, if you've done X amount of exercise, then you should be this slim, you know, or if you've done this, then you should be slimmer, and you should look like other people who do this type of dance and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was really interesting, and it's actually been really therapeutic to kind of talk about it. Yeah. Like, I've spoken about it here and there to like other people, but to like publicly just kind of talk about it on my channels has been really therapeutic for me. But also I've had lots of other people message me who do Samba to be like, this is exactly how I feel. And I'm like, why are we not talking about this more? You know? So it's nice to be able to connect with other women on this topic and know that we're not the only ones just kind of going through the motions alone in our heads.
How did you navigate like that journey as well? Because I imagine if you were all of a sudden going viral and getting loads of comments that you might not have had in the past, how did you navigate that just from like a mental health perspective?
So I basically shut myself off social because it's really overwhelming and you want to engage in the community that you're building, but then at the same time you're getting all these like horrible comments, so you kind of like, I just took a break from it all, and I took it was a good break because it allowed me to kind of step back into myself, because I like to think of social as here and then I'm here, so I was like, let me just put this on pause and let me step back into myself and just kind of almost rediscover my why again, because maybe it was slightly different and I needed to tweak it a bit. But that's something that was also really difficult because, like I said, my job at the time was social media manager. Yeah. So even though I wasn't on my channels, I was still on there. I was still on there and very present for the companies that I was working for. So it was something that I had to kind of really mentally like shut myself off and just almost, like I was saying, like the whole roommates situation that I had with my body, this time we're both in the same room. So it was just like, let's just realign and let's make sure that we're both in a really good place. And I literally would look in the mirror and I just talk to myself. And I talk to my body and just tell it amazing things and say, you know, like, we're going to try this thing. It's going to be challenging, but you're going to get through it and you're going to be fine. So that's what I did. And I actually think that that was probably the best thing for me, to step back, but just step into myself.
Yeah. I know you said, you mentioned earlier, after you had your kids, you felt like kind of disconnected from yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what did that look like on like a day-to-day basis?
So for me, that was basically like, I wasn't really looking after myself. You know, like all my attention wasn't on me. It was on my kids, it was on my family, it was on the house. It wasn't on me at all. I think I wore the same thing almost every single day. You know, and I used to get my nails done. I stopped doing that. I stopped really even caring about my hair. You know, like I just basically, I don't want to use the term let yourself go, because sometimes you need to kind of let yourself go. But I just ignored my own needs, essentially. And just if something didn't fit because I'd put on weight, I would then tell myself, right, you need to lose weight to get back into that thing, rather than thinking, oh, it doesn't fit anymore. Let's just wear something else, you know? So on a day-to-day basis, it was basically like, wake up, don't look at yourself in the mirror, just brush your teeth, wash your face, and focus on everyone else but yourself. Yeah. And that's what it was for me for a long time, that I just decided that I would just put myself on the back burner.
Do you talk about that on your socials?
I don't really, only because I think it's something that is difficult to explain to people, and often people that I've met that have had kids, I haven't really spoken to anyone that had that similar mindset of like, being pregnant is the weirdest thing ever, and maybe not the thing that it's so funny because I actually enjoyed the birth part.
Oh wow, okay. That's the thing I'm most scared of.
I know, that's the thing that like people are often like really I like find really weird, and that's why I probably don't talk about it, because I enjoyed giving birth. I actually really enjoyed giving birth, and I think maybe because I had a really positive birth experience both times, but the actual pregnancy side of it, I wasn't like a massive fan of. But maybe it's something that I could talk about and see if people can relate. But I think it's because most people want to talk to me about Samba. So for me to be like, and then let's talk about my disconnect with my body, people are like, I want to see you Samba.
I'm just wondering, because you've built like a massive community now, and I was just wondering whether there are other women that relate to that like disconnection.
Probably. There definitely is. And I know that there are, like I said, the ones who have reached out to me when I've spoken about the whole Samba body type thing, we've had some really lovely like conversations and voice messages in our DMs. And one message that I thought was really quite powerful was that she said when she goes into class now, she is the biggest in her class. So she steps into class and she just allows herself to take up that space, being a big woman. And I'm like, yeah, take up that space, because you should be able to, but not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally. She just tells herself that, you know, her size is only a small part of who she is, and she allows herself to take up that space as soon as she steps in. That's what she tells herself. And I'm like, yeah, I actually really love that. And that was really nice that came out of the conversations that we had.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah, it's sweet, right?
Hey ladies, thanks for joining us here on another episode of the Woman Up podcast. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a moment to say, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow the channel and leave us a review. It really, really helps with our reach. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any episodes in the future. If you're feeling especially inspired, please feel free to leave us a comment or share the episode on your socials. I personally read all comments, and every share has a massive effect on our growth, so it really means the world to us. Thanks in advance, we appreciate you, and let's get back to the episode. I am really surprised that you say about this Samba body type, because Samba's originally Brazilian, right? Yeah. So I just, like, when I think of like Latinos as well, so my mum is Latino. Yeah. It's like the curvier the better. Yeah. Like, we don't really... Like, being slim, my mum would be like, are you okay? Do you need to be fed? Like, there's food available. So I'm, like, really confused that, like, that's what is expected.
I think it's because it's in our culture. So it's different in our culture. But whereas when you're in a class and you are the minority in the class, then it's harder to find a sense of fitting in. And especially what you see... like in the media, or just kind of like what's presented to you can also be part of that story as well, and that narrative. And if you do actually kind of Google Samba dancers, you will find the majority of them that will be served up won't be people that look like me, unless you're like specifically, I want to see Black Brazilian Samba, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but when I went to, what was actually really nice was, earlier last year I went to Brazil, and that was such a life-changing moment for me, because up until then I'd kind of still been questioning like if Samba was still for me and was right for me. But when I went and I saw I was not the minority, I was part of the majority. I love that. And when I was dancing, people actually thought I was Brazilian and would start talking to me Portuguese, and I'm just like, nah babe, I'm from London. You know? So, but it was so nice and really kind of like really reaffirming. And there was a point where me and my friend, when we went to see Carnival, and we both just got so emotional as Black women, because we were just seeing all these super talented, incredible Black women parading different body sizes, different abilities, and it was just the most powerful thing that I'd ever seen. And we just both started bawling. Because we were like, this is so nice. I'm so happy.
I love that. So you went the one time to Brazil?
Yeah. So, but I went for 3 weeks. So it was quite a long, I know, it was a military operation, because I had to make sure that my kids were all good, my husband was all good, everything was all good, so that I could go and not have to think about, did I remember to tell him about packed lunch and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it was a great moment for me, because it reignited something in me. And that's actually the reason why I decided to start teaching, because I was like, there's something here and I really want to help other people find this joy. And maybe as a Black woman, if I start teaching, other Black women will feel like, oh, actually I want to get into a class and I want to learn as well. So yeah.
Your Instagram handle actually is This Black Woman Can, right? Yeah. Where did that come from?
So it's really interesting, because before it was just my name.
Okay, yeah.
It was just like Nana Crawford or something like that. And it was something that I was doing as part of like my like affirmations, intentions, that kind of stuff. And I would always write down, just for myself, like, this Black woman can, and I'd write down stuff that I wanted to achieve. Yeah. And I think it was so funny, because we went on this like forest lodge holiday thing.
Yeah.
And my husband was just kind of like, I don't really feel like your Instagram name does you any justice anymore. And I was like, told you, he's always the like, he's just there lurking.
The
exactly, just plotting the scene. And I was like, well, I don't really know what else it could be. And he was just like, well, what do you normally say and stuff? And I was like, well, it's always, you know, I don't know, this black woman can samba, this black woman can twerk, all it. And he was just like, what about this black woman can? And then whatever comes after it just comes after it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I changed it. And and it's been great ever since, because it's kind of, it's helped me not pigeonhole myself as well, because I can do loads of stuff. I can't do parkour. That's the one thing that I cannot do.
Okay.
Can't do parkour. But this black woman can try parkour. Okay, that's something that we have to also
I can't add if it makes you feel any better.
But, you know, it's a really nice, positive way to think about it. And now that my daughter's like growing up as well, she was like to me the other day, she was like, on Instagram, should I be this black girl can? And I was like,
love that.
You can if you want to.
Did she change it?
So we're going to change her thing to this black girl can, which is really sweet. But I have to try not to get too excited, because, you know, otherwise she'll just be like, no. So I was like, yeah, whatever.
Is she a teenager?
She's 10.
Oh, okay.
So she's not teenager, but also I can't be super enthusiastic about everything.
Okay.
So I picked my moment. So I was like, yeah, if you want, whatever.
I love that. That must be really hard, because your energy is like really bubbly.
It's easy with my son, because he's just like me. We're both like fire, like just with each other all the time. Whereas my daughter's like my husband, they're both like super chill. So, and her energy's just really like just mellow. She's very mellow, very calm. So anything excitable, she just gets really like, oh, what are you doing? So I have to just remember that every time. So like if I'm doing a samba class and she'll be like, oh, I think I might come to class with you, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. But inside I'm like, yes, she's coming to class, yes. And I want to like shake her, like, yes. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, if you want, you know, no pressure.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about, you went through your samba journey.
Yes.
At what point were you like, I want to teach now?
So with twerking, I think it was just the more confident I got with it, the more I realised that I could help other people channel that kind of their inner confidence. And with samba, like I said, it was just after I went to Brazil, and then I realised that my why was not just to find joy, but actually could I help other people find their inner joy and just kind of boost their own confidence as well. And those kind of moments really helped me realise that there was maybe something more for me to offer than just to myself, but to other people. And I dipped my toe in and started doing the teaching.
Yeah. I know you said you tried samba like for yourself, but was it this? Were you doing the twerk like classes
before that? Yeah, I was doing the twerk classes before that, but I'd probably say that like I always talk myself out of things when I get too committed. I'm like, hold on a minute. So with the twerk classes, I was doing them consistently, but like every month or twice a month and stuff. And what made a difference, I think, for me was that the classes were getting really full. And I started to have a waiting list, and I was just kind of like, okay, well, I now have people that feel disappointed that they don't get to come to class. How am I going to solve this? And someone in the class was like, well, you need to just make this weekly. Like, it's just, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
That's your solution. I was like, oh, okay. Find a bigger venue, make it weekly, you would be done. Yeah. I was like, okay, great. So after I came back from Brazil, I was like, right, let's commit to weekly classes. And it's just become this whole movement, and it's actually really incredible. And sometimes, like, even in class, I can just take a moment to step back and look at everyone shaking their bums, but just thinking, I helped everyone do this. I helped everyone move their bums, and they all look so joyful, and they've made friends, and you know, all through the connection of bum jiggling. And it's just really, really nice. And it's not something that I ever would have thought myself as a teacher, because I'm not a very patient person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at all. Like, even my husband was just like, your patience levels have increased massively because you are not the most patient person ever. So it's taught me a lot, but it's also allowed me to give a lot to other people as well, which is something that I never thought I could do, but now I know that I can.
Yeah. But your community is very much like, I feel like it's more than just the twerk class. Like,
yes,
you've kind of become this advocate for like body positivity. How do you feel about that, firstly?
I feel maybe a little bit scared.
Why?
Because when you put yourself in the spotlight, you just feel like nothing can go wrong now. You know, nothing can go wrong, or you can't make mistakes, or you can't do this, can't do that. But I just always have to remind myself that people come to my classes for who I am, and everything that I do is part of who I am.
Yeah.
So as long as I just continue to be who I am, then everything will be fine. But what is really lovely is that, yes, I think people come, like one person told me the other day that she's been coming to class for well over a year now. And the positive like impact it's had on her mental health is unlike something she ever thought could ever happen, and how she looks at herself now in a really positive way, and how it just helps, it's influenced other areas of her life, is something that I never thought could come out of a class like that. So it's really nice to be able to do that, and to be able to do that even for people who don't necessarily want to learn to twerk. You know, some people who follow me have no interest in actually learning to twerk, but they just love the videos, and they love seeing people being happy, and that's actually really nice as well. So I think it's nice to be able to have that balance and to stand for something so positive and natural and real, and to have those kind of like real emotions coming across. And I like that people can come to Instagram and they come to class and they're like, okay, yeah, this is, because the last thing you ever want to do is see something on Instagram, go, and you're just like, what is this? This is actually rubbish. So I'm always really nervous when people are like, I saw you on Instagram. And I'm like, and they're like, oh no, I love it. I'm like, okay, good.
Oh, I love that.
If you didn't, I'd be like, bye.
Yeah. Well, I did your class at a festival.
Yeah.
And I did it because I knew it was going to be out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which is why I was at the back. But then you switched up the room anyway.
Yep, always. And how did it make you feel, like doing?
I had like different moments throughout the class. So I had like cringe moments where I was like, I can't do it. Because there were some girls in there who were like professionals.
Yeah.
And I was just like mortified because I've never done a class like that before. And I already knew I can't twerk. So
yeah,
I just felt like there was a bit of like cringe factor for me because of like my own insecurities. But I did feel like the class was really fun, and it was actually like quite challenging.
Yeah.
Like my legs were burning afterwards, and I had to take a little break at one point. But yeah, it was like really enjoyable. So yeah, thank you for that. But
that's good.
I think I showed you footage of me.
Yeah,
twerking.
I did. I saw it. Yeah.
You know, let's not talk about that.
I would always say that, like, especially when it comes to doing anything, like especially when it comes to twerk classes, when people come in, the first thing they tell me is they can't twerk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we're not off to a great start, because as soon as you told yourself that you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I'll say, if you're going to say that, just say, I can't twerk yet.
Okay.
So add your yet to the bottom, to the end, so that you know that there's more to come. Or say, you know, you could say to yourself, I want to learn to twerk. Or I want to get better at this. I want to loosen my hips. So maybe it's not just about the word twerk that can throw you off. You could just be like, I want a more flexible pelvis. I don't know who says that, but you know, you can tell yourself that. And that can really help you. But I think what is really nice, and hopefully that kind of came across in the room, is that even though, yes, you get people who are like on it, you still don't feel completely out of place, and you still feel like I can try my best to do what I can within my own limits and still feel proud of myself for doing something. And that's always the atmosphere that I want to create in class, because I just think it builds a mental resilience for when you're in any other situation where you might not be the best at certain thing. At least you know your limits, you know what you're capable of, and you can feel proud of your own abilities and capabilities within any situation.
Yeah, I really liked that you like celebrated everyone as well. Like
a bit much though. I'm a bit intense with that.
No, I like that. I liked it because at the end we kind of like separated out into groups and like practiced the routine. Also, the routine wasn't like super overwhelming either, because I've been to some classes where I'm like, oh my God, like choreography is mad. I don't know any of it. But this was like a nice like ease into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were like very like go, 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 like very like uplifting throughout the whole class. So I really like that about it.
Thank you. I always want to be. I want to be because I know that like, I always know that people can do more than they think they can. And it's always like when I lock eyes with someone, I'm like, yes, you can do it better. You can do it more. You can do more. It's nice to be able to do that. And I feel like sometimes you just need to borrow some energy. So I try and give out some energy so that people are like, yes, I can do this. I can do this. And then they're like completely dead afterwards because they went so hard. Because I was in their face. On fire,
yeah. How do you create like this environment of like inclusivity, do you think? Because I know that's important to you, to create like, you know, all shapes and sizes, like doesn't matter where you're from, like welcome to class. But how do you create that within the class when you have like people coming from, you know, left, right and center?
So I think one of the first things is being comfortable with myself. I think if I'm comfortable with myself, it gives other people permission to be comfortable with themselves. You can always tell if you see a teacher that's really nervous or really anxious about their own bodies and they keep pulling up their trousers or, you know, something like that. It's just, then you start to just kind of question like what's the atmosphere, what's the vibe like here. So I always want to make sure that I'm really comfortable with myself, and I think that definitely gives people permission to be comfortable with themselves. And also I just encourage lots of interaction in class as well, and the other thing that comes out of it is that people start to bring their friends and start to bring other people that don't necessarily look like them, and that then starts to create the idea that like, okay, well this person's here, then I can do that. And that was something that someone actually said to me the other day. She said the reason why she came to class was because she was looking at the video and noticed that like there was such a wide range of people in the classes and also skills as well. So she didn't feel like she'd feel really out of place because she's been to some classes where everyone knows everything and you feel like you're like 5 steps behind everyone. So she loved that. And when she came and then she actually felt that, and she felt that, you know, and also I think that because I encourage people to talk to each other, to look at each other as well. That's such an important part. Look at other people when you come in. I just think that helps foster that right type of energy. And I also feel like you attract what you put out as well, right? So if I'm putting out good vibe energy and the notion that I'm really comfortable with who I am, or even if I'm not, I'm trying to work on myself and I'm trying to be positive about my journey, that I feel like attracts people who also feel like they're in the same boat and they can kind of relate to me on some level as well. So I feel like I have a connection with everyone that's come to class because there's something relatable about my life that they keep. So whether it's a mum or they're recently married or, you know, they're on their own journeys and that kind of stuff. So it's just, there's always something about something that I've done that draws people in.
Yeah. It's funny you say that about the not making eye contact. I think that's like an insecurity thing, because sometimes when I'm like, if I don't make eye contact, then maybe people won't see me.
But we always see you. We see the ones who don't make eye contact.
Saw me at the back.
I saw you like over there. Yeah. See, I can even place you in the room. Yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely like me trying to be invisible. Do you have any like fun like stories or like feedback that you got from like people in your classes?
I think the thing that always makes me laugh always is people always, every time I'm showing them a move, they're constantly staring at my bum. Now I get it because that is what twerk is about. But I constantly have to say to people, stop looking at my bum and look at my feet. Because I'm trying to show you what the foot is doing, or I'm trying to show you what my knees are doing, or we're talking about my shoulders and they're just staring at my bum. So I'm always like, don't look at my bum, look at my knees look at my feet, stop looking at my bum.
Yeah.
And then they'll always be like, well, how can we not look at your bum? Because that's literally the thing that's moving the most in the room. Like, how are we supposed to not look at your bum? But I think that also comes from like understanding. That for me was understanding like technique and how to teach people, because you'll look at someone's bum and be like, mine doesn't move like that. And it's not supposed to, because we all have different shapes, you know? So my bum moves the way my bum moves, and your bum is going to move differently. My job as a teacher is to give you the tools so that you can figure out how to move your bum in a similar way to mine, not in the exact same way as well. But that's something that I've like, I love. Like almost every single class, I'm like, stop looking at my bum. And imagine saying that in a twerk class, like constantly.
Yeah.
Can you, everyone, stop looking at my bum
and
look at my feet. And they're like, okay.
What is the main technique with twerking? Because when I was in your class and you were like pelvis like in and out, my brain was like, it's not working. Like there's something not like, I need to turn the switch on and off. Because when I sent you my video as well, you were like, oh, you have the pelvis, you just need your legs. And I was like, legs? What does she mean? I thought it was just like the bum and the pelvis area.
So you've got your pelvic movement, right? Which is, if this was my pelvis, it's moving like this.
Like up and down.
So you're going down and then you're flicking up. What you need to do is you need to use the power from your legs, because that will help you lift the pelvis. And that's the thing that people often miss out on. So it's not just about flicking your pelvis front and back, because most people can do that. Almost everyone that I've met can flick their pelvis in some shape or form. What it is that connection of bringing your whole body up, so lifting from your legs to then flick at the end. And it's that slow motion that you have to try and teach to get people to understand. Because yes, you had the movement, you had this, but you were stuck there. So now you need to
it wasn't flicking.
Lift. It wasn't flicking. So if you want to get more flick, you have to think of your legs as like the energy source, the battery, right? And then once you flick, the light switch comes on, and then you get that light. So you need to use the energy and the power from your thighs to drive your bum up.
So then what are people, when you say look at my feet, what are they looking at?
Like, why are they looking at your feet? So it's usually when I'm talking about the position of your feet.
Okay.
Because often, depending on how your body is, if my feet are wider, it opens up my pelvis more to move. Or if my feet are more narrow, then it closes up my pelvis more. So when I'm trying to explain to people that they need to widen their stance to allow themselves to open up their pelvis, they're looking at my bum and I'm like, look at my feet and look at my actually moving my feet or even turning my feet out so that it opens up my inner thighs. Just little things like that often get like overlooked when people are learning. And again, the knees is to do with your hips as well. So in Samba, you have really juicy hips if you can use your knees and mobilize your knees to get your hips moving side to side, because people think you have to force your hips, but your hips will move when your knees move. But it's just making sure that you use your knees as opposed to forcing your hips side to side, which will throw you off.
It's so funny you say that, because I used to do belly dancing way back in the day, and you know like this like classic Shakira move where her hips moved side to side.
Your knee and your
ankle. When I was learning that, the teacher was like, it's all in your knees and your legs, and I was like, because I'm here trying to like force my hip out and it's not doing anything.
Most of the time, everything that happens here is a result of either your obliques and your abs or your knees. And or like even like to get that kind of like curved and out shape, you would use your ankle and your knees to guide your hip out as opposed to pushing your hip. Yes, you can push your hip out, but if you want a better range, you use your entire because I think people often forget that this whole thing's connected. It's attached. Like, it's not separated. So you have to move the whole part of your body to get it to move the way you want it. Yeah,
I love that. So what are your plans like moving forward with like the body positivity stuff?
Yes.
Are you, because I actually did see you at the same festival, there was a body positivity talk and you were part of that panel.
Yes.
So do you have any other plans that are related but maybe not related to dance?
At the moment I don't. I haven't really thought about it because it's more, I would say more recently that I've had people kind of approached me to talk about like that kind of body positivity journey, because for me it's just been a Samba journey, but for other people, when they look at it from the outside in, they're like, actually no, it's a whole different story for other people. So I'm now trying to kind of like figure out how to put that into words and how to look at that as an inspirational way to kind of keep motivating people. But I would love to be able to do more talks and to be in spaces where women need to feel that sense of body positivity, or need to hear about my journey to feel some kind of connection and can kind of almost reflect on my journey on their own lives and feel that like positivity. And for people who are starting out any skill really, and kind of being I would say like the person that can show the importance of consistency and dedication and what that can do, I think would be a really lovely next step for me, and a nice chapter to kind of move into.
What made you document your Samba journey, just out of curiosity?
So I wanted to hold myself accountable. So I've done other skills before, and like I tried other things before, and I just kind of let them go because I could just let them go. Whereas with my Samba one, when I posted my first video, like, this is my first Samba class, I'm just going to post it, and just, I had like 500 followers. It's just mainly my family, so it was fine. But, I had people, even back then, being like, oh, this looks really fun. Are you having fun? I'm like, yeah, I'm having fun. They're like, you going to keep going? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep going. So it just allowed me to kind of hold myself accountable. And it also allowed me to critique myself. That was something that I found really important as part of my journey, was to be able to kind of look at how my progress is and to be able to critique myself in a positive way, as opposed to negatively being like, oh, I didn't get that choreo, I've made such a failure. That it was able to be like, oh, actually, no, I got that bit. Oh, look at my turn. My turn's actually, I didn't fumble, I didn't fall over that time. And I just kept documenting it that way. And then I think it got to a stage where I'd like been doing it for about a year. So I was like, well, let me see what I looked like before and what I look like now. And I was like, actually, you know what? Because you don't sometimes see it yourself. You still think that you're back in that kind of beginner stage. And then when I saw it through the videos, I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. And I just started posting the kind of before and afters. And
because I've seen a lot of your like before and after journey. And it's so inspiring. But it just made me think, oh, I wonder why like she recorded those like beginning stages.
It was just at first it was just actually to just hold myself accountable. Because if it's on my phone and it faces me when I look through my gallery, then I can remind myself, you need to go back to that class, Nana, because look, you did this and you need to go back. So it was originally just it was the best way for me to hold myself accountable. Do
you have any plans in the future to go back to Brazil? Or
yes. Oh my God, I really want to go back to Brazil. So the plan is to go back in 2026.
Okay.
Yeah. So that will be probably the best time, because I went in 2023. So give it 3 years. Then I can go back and I can parade. I'd love to parade this time. I didn't parade the first time because I just wanted to experience Brazil and just see carnival. Because I feel like there's one thing being in it, but then there's another thing experiencing it from the outside. And now that I've experienced it, I'm so excited to be part of it, like to know what that means for the people who actually parade. So the plan is to go back in 2026 and parade. And I started taking Portuguese lessons.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How's that going?
Yeah, it's all right.
Do you speak any other languages?
No.
Okay.
But again, it was another, for me, it's another like step in my Samba journey, because if I want to like hone in on my craft and get better, even as a teacher, there's so much resource out there in Brazil, but it's all in Portuguese. So to unlock that, I have to invest in learning their language so that I can communicate on their terms and have those conversations.
So what are you doing, Duolingo or something?
No, so I have a teacher from Brazil.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have
all in.
I was like, you know what? let me just commit. I've been wanting to learn Portuguese for so long.
Yeah.
And I did Duolingo. I've done other like random apps, but she actually messaged me and was like, I could help you learn Brazilian. I was like, I don't know. So then we did a trial class and she was just like, let's commit. So I committed to a certain number of lessons and now I'm all in. So I'm all in. And yeah, it's so funny though, because I sometimes record myself just to hear my own pronunciation and I just sound like a Londoner in Rio. It's just so weird. It just doesn't sound natural whatsoever. Yeah. But I'm really enjoying it as well.
I love that. Yeah. That's amazing. By 2026 you'll be fluent.
So that was the goal, because I said to her, because she's like, what's your reason for wanting to do this? And I was like, well, one, I do a lot of lessons online with Brazilian teachers who don't speak English. And I just basically watch them and then learn from watching their body language. But I was like, I'd love to be able to actually communicate and talk to them and thank them, not just through Google Translate, you know, and to be able to really show my heartfelt appreciation for their culture and what they do. And I was like, and I really want a parade in Brazil, but I don't want to be like amongst people not knowing what they're saying. And, you know, I want to be able to kiki with the girls and be like, Jane, should, you know, just have like, it would just be really nice. So she was like, when do you want to go back to Brazil? And I was like, 2026. She was like, right, let's get you there. So she's invested in my journey. Yeah, good. So just watch this space. I'm going to be so Brazilian. You're just going to think I'm Brazilian.
Will you take your family with you?
Yes, I'd love to this time.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I feel like they would absolutely love it. And my kids, anytime there's a Samba event here and they can come, they'll come. Yeah. Which is really nice. So they're like my family are like my biggest cheerleaders for this whole thing. They give me the space, give me the time, give me the encouragement as well, which is really nice. Like my son, if I do an online lesson, at the end, my son will come up to me and be like, you did really good that lesson, you know? I'm like,
does he take part?
No, he just watches from the side and he'll be like, you did really well, that looked really hard. I'm like, thanks. And he just run off and play his PlayStation. But, you know, it's just that little validation from an 8-year-old boy that I did really well.
Are your classes online and in person?
Yes. So I do them in person in London and in Croydon and in Wanstead as well. And then I do them online as well. What I'd love to do from next year is do Samba online, because I feel like there's a space there, especially for beginners, because there's lots of teachers that do online classes that are more advanced. So I'd love to kind of give people that stepping stone to be able to go into other classes and not feel like a completely like lost duckling. So I'd love to do that from next year, is have some regular and just grow like that online community. I've got a great online twerk community from across the world, which is amazing. And I get messages. One woman messaged me and she's like, hey, I'm in Australia and I've just done your recording and I loved it and it was really challenging, you know. So I'd love to be able to do that with Samba as well.
What's your favourite thing about what you do?
My favourite thing? I'd probably say my favourite thing is when other people realise that they're not the lost cause that they thought they were. That for me is a real validation that this is what I should be doing, because I can see their potential and I can see that, you know, with dedication and consistency and practice, they can get to where they need to be. But it's when they get there and they realise that they're there and they come to me and be like, I can do this move now. And I'm like, come on, show me. And then they do it and I'm like, well done. You know, and they're like, yes, but I finally got it. And it's just really nice to see other people enjoy themselves and enjoy their bodies and not critique themselves or hide in the back, be at the front, you know. But it's just really nice to see people just smile at their own achievements.
Who would you say is your biggest inspiration on this journey?
My biggest inspiration is probably, I have a couple of different like Samba teachers that have always inspired me to be the best like person that I can be in Samba. But I actually think my husband is honestly my biggest inspiration, because he's such a like driving force for me, and he's constantly pouring himself into my success and my goals. And as well as doing his own like things that he does as well, which I don't know how he finds the time to do everything, but because he's constantly leveling himself up, he just inspires me to want to do the same.
I love that.
And I think it's really nice to be inspired by the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So yeah, he's definitely my biggest inspiration and cheerleader and everything else.
Yeah, it sounds like it from what you were saying. It's really sweet.
He's really, honestly, he's also like becoming a life coach as well. But it makes sense, right? Because he basically coached me into this, like basically nudged me into where I am now.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect like stepping stone for him. And I know that whoever gets coached by him will definitely achieve everything. And he's a pretty amazing guy, considering like when we met at 17 he was just like this chill like teenager, and now he's just like driving force. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute as well. So you've been together for how long?
So 21 years.
That's amazing.
In like end of November it'll be 21 years.
Yeah.
So we were with some friends the other day and they were like, how do you feel like knowing that you've been together longer than you've both been apart? And I was like,
oh my God, someone did maths.
They did the maths, and I was like, I don't know. But like, I actually can't imagine my life not with him.
Yeah.
And because we've both been through so much together, and we got together when we were really young, you know, at 17. So we've been through like our teen phase and our 20s and our 30s. We're moving into our 40s. So it's really interesting how we've both changed as individuals, but we've helped each other kind of change. And for him, he was sort of saying that like all this, the dancing and everything like that is because he noticed like how much I basically put myself behind for everyone else. So he was like, I need you to find yourself again, because it's for the benefit of the entire family, you know? So yeah.
Does he dance as well?
No.
Oh.
He dances when he wants to. Like if we're at a party and I'm dancing, he'll dance with me.
Oh, that's nice.
But he doesn't do lessons. I tried to get him to do bachata. So we went to some couples bachata classes. He didn't complain. And he did them. But then he was just like, can we stop now?
Okay.
I was like, okay, fine. But he'll still like, you know, he'll do a couple of classes. If I find like a really fun K-pop routine, I'll make him do that at home with me.
That's cute.
And he'll do it as well, which is really sweet. No questions asked. I'll be like, I found this routine, babe. Should we try it? And he's like, all right then.
Oh, your relationship sounds amazing. Okay, so I normally finish my interviews with a game called 333, which is just 3 sets of 3 questions.
Okay.
So the first 3 are would you rathers.
Oh, okay.
So would you rather teach a class to an audience of 1,000 people or have a private session with a celebrity of your choice?
1,000 people or a celebrity of my choice? I'd probably do 1,000 people.
You don't have like any celebrity crushes then?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I feel like I would have more of an impact with a big room and have that energy and have that vibe than just kind of one person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd definitely do that.
Okay. Samba or twerking?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can say this out loud. But Samba.
Oh.
So it's the thing that started everything for me. And it's the thing that I always go back to when I feel lost. Yeah. So, yeah, Samba.
Okay. Feature in a dance workshop or a body confidence seminar?
I think I would probably do the body confidence seminar, actually. Yeah. I feel like there would be so much more to give there than a dance workshop, because I can dance anytime and, you know, so... Yeah, and it's also something new that that I can kind of throw myself into. So yeah, do that.
Okay. All right, the next one is finish the sentence. So my go-to song to dance to when I need an energy boost is I
have so many. Okay, what's my go-to? My go-to is probably Big Energy by Lato, because that's always a song that I go back to when I need a pick me up. Like I have so many Spotify playlists, and that song is always on all of them. Even though the playlist will say something like chill vibes, I'll just put it on there.
Yeah.
Or like Samba vibes, I'll just put it on there because it's always my big energy. Yeah, that's the song that I definitely go to.
Do you have a playlist that you share like with your students?
Yeah, so I have different. I'm notoriously bad at like just picking random songs.
Okay.
So I plan my classes.
Yeah.
Okay, I plan my classes. Just put a note out there. But when it comes to the vibes, I kind of go off what I feel like people are feeling in the room. So if I play a particular song and I can see everyone singing along and they're loving it, I will switch immediately and I'll go down that kind of genre because I notice that that's what people are feeling.
Yeah.
So I have different playlists that I just pick and choose from. But I started to make more streamlined playlist after a couple of requests from students going, can you just put everything in one place so that we can just be on the same trail as you? So now I've started to build a playlist so that people can follow the music.
Love that. Okay. So finish the sentence. If I wasn't teaching, I'd probably be.
If I wasn't teaching, I would probably be a voice actor.
Really?
Yeah, so it's something that I've always wanted to do. Yeah. I can still do it. I know I don't have to stop myself. But when I was younger, I used to be able to do different voices.
Yeah.
And the one that I loved the most was like doing, oh my God, like as if you have helium. And so I used to say to my friends that one day I'll be a voice actor.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't teaching, that's what I'd be doing.
I love that. My brother's a voice actor. And he does accents.
You need to hook us up because I need to figure out how to actually get into it because I feel like I'd have a lot of fun with it. And I could do really energetic characters.
Really?
Because I feel like I could channel my energy into my voice. And
can you do like dark characters as well?
No, I don't think I could do that. That's a hard one. But if it's like small and bouncy and amazing and excited, I could do that. So random.
I love it. If I could add one new style to Jigglefit, it would be.
It would probably be. I would love to add some more like salsa or just something that allows the body to still move in that kind of fluid way.
Yeah.
And I love salsa. I love watching it, and I've done a couple of classes in it. But I would love to add that as a part of it because I feel like you've got samba, you've got twerk. I think salsa would be a really nice addition to it as well.
Yeah.
For the people who don't necessarily want to twerk but they still want some good vibes. Yeah.
I love salsa as well. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing is you need a partner a lot of the time with salsa.
Yeah. That is the annoying thing about salsa, that you need a partner. But maybe if it was a bit of salsa so that you could work with people and then push them away, then do your own thing. And it would work.
Okay, the next three are just random questions, not related to the topic. So, what is one food or meal you could eat every day and never get tired
Roast
of?
dinner. Roast dinner. Hands down. Do you know
what? Okay, describe what a roast dinner is to you.
So roast dinner for me is a bit of chicken, roast chicken, because I don't do turkey.
Yeah.
Roast chicken, some stuffing, some broccoli, some carrots, some parsnips, potatoes, a Yorkshire pudding, gravy, and what else am I missing? Mac and cheese.
Okay, I didn't expect you to say that. I love mac and cheese, but I don't associate it with a roast dinner. So
I think because my husband's Jamaican, so every time he makes roast, he also makes mac and cheese.
Yeah.
So we'll always have mac and cheese. Sometimes we'll have mac and cheese in place of instead of potatoes.
Yeah.
So we'll have the carb as the mac and cheese. But yeah, that's my plate. And then I just drizzle the gravy all over. And if I could have a roast dinner every day, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. I'm hungry, but... Okay, if animals could talk, which one would you have a conversation with first?
I'd love to have a conversation with dogs. Any dog, really, because I find dogs fascinating because they have such human-like characteristics sometimes that I'd love to talk to I'd love to talk to a dog that's owned, like, that, not my dog, but like someone else's dog, and be like, how is it for you? Like, because your owner buys you all this stuff, you know, you get this premium food. I want to know, like, on a day-to-day, are you happy? Like, what's going on here? I think it'd definitely be definitely be a dog.
Yeah, the thing I love about dogs, like yesterday I was walking to the gym and there was a lady sitting waiting for someone outside a shop, and she had a dog, and the dog was like really like excited, tail wagging at whoever was in the shop. Yeah. And I was like, dogs are so cool, because it could be like 5 minutes they haven't seen you, but and when you come back, they're like, hey, like so happy. And it's like, how? Like, why are you so happy?
That's why I'd love to talk. Yeah, I'd love to talk to dogs and just figure out, like, what, like, just have a little conversation. Just on the side. I always feel like if I could have a like secret power, it would be like to talk to animals.
Yeah, same.
I'd love to be able to talk to animals. I'd love
to be able to do
that.
Right? Yeah.
And just be like, hey, elephant, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the weather?
Exactly, yeah. I would love that. Okay, last one. What's one chore you would gladly never do again?
Oh. I mean, I don't do it now, really. At all. Ironing. I just find it a waste of time. I hate ironing.
Yeah.
I just find it a waste of time, because you iron to what? Put it on and then crinkle it up again. It doesn't make any sense to me. It honestly doesn't make any sense. If there was a chore that I probably would love to stop, is mopping the floors. Yeah, because it's just long.
Yeah.
It's just long, and yeah. I mean, I get my kids to do it now, but then I have to redo it because I don't do it well.
Yeah.
So I need to get them up on their mopping floor game.
Level them
up on their game, so that I can sit back and just enjoy. They have too much fun with it. That's their problem. They're just loving life, mopping the floors, and I'm just like, you missed the spot, and they're like, woo!
Okay, the last one is our woman up question. What 3 things do you love about yourself?
3 things that I love about myself. I love my hair. It's another journey that I've been on with accepting my natural hair and loving my curls. So I love my hair. I love my height. I never used to like being short.
Yeah.
But I love it now because I'm like unsuspecting.
What do you mean?
So when people see me on Instagram, they think I'm really tall.
Do they?
Yeah, they think I'm really tall because of like the camera angles that I use and stuff. And then they meet me and they're like, you are so small. And before I used to be like, oh, I am really small. But now I'm like, yeah, I'm deceiving you with my angles. So I love that. And I, of course, can proudly now say that I love my belly. Like, it's something that I've had to grow to love, but I love it because it protected my kids when they were inside me, and now it's just doing its own thing, and it's part of me and a huge part of who I am. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. It's been such a good interview.
Thank you. This has been really fun.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to put all your handles and everything in the description.
Yeah.
But guys, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please write us a review. We really appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's it for this week's episode of the Woman Up podcast. All the links and resources we mentioned in the episode will be in the description, no matter where you're listening or watching from. If you're listening or watching this on a podcast platform such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a review and follow the channel. You have no idea how much this helps to push out the podcast to a wider audience. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button for the same reason, and feel free to leave a comment, ask a question, or make suggestions. It really means the world to us, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.